What's going on? What's going on? I wasn't gonna do this, but it keeps niggling at me. So I'm literally just gonna quickly go through the KSI situation. Should he have apologized? So let's just get straight into it. KSI, we know, had used the word "packy," and everyone has gone crazy. The internet has gone crazy. Twitter went crazy about how he's using a racial slur. Now, to me, we all know that I don't think language should be trademarked to certain people. We know that there's grime and drill artists out there using the word all the time. And we know that Pakistani people use that word to each other all the time. But all of a sudden, it's been racialized. So let's just go through what he said first.
I don't mean this maliciously, but the word. Sorry, I'm sorry. Look, we need points. I don't. Definitely didn't write. Guys.
He said there, I'm not taking this maliciously. I'm not saying this in a malicious way, but we need points for the program, so I'm going to use a word that is out there, and it's probably in the dictionary as well. So if he's not saying anything maliciously, then how can it be racist? But the internet and the social, I call Twitter the gulag, right? I call Twitter the gulag because if you're on there and you need to be apologizing, they will make sure that you, even if you don't believe you should be apologizing, people apologize. Pearl from Just Pearly Things, she apologized for having Nick Fuentes on her show. She starts apologizing. We should never bow down to the pressure of the radical left who want us to apologize for every little thing. And when we say to them, you apologize for supporting a groomer ideology, for putting our women and children in danger by allowing this mental health issue that's going on to resonate through our societies. You apologize. You apologize for the invasion of undocumented males, putting up banners, refugees welcome. You apologise. But no, they won't, because they're morally just. So here is KSI's apology.
Morning, everyone. So I want to read a statement which I've written to make sure I express myself as clearly and cover everything I want to say. First of all, I want to address a recent incident in a video whereby my actions have affected many people, especially in the South Asian community. I want to take this opportunity to offer my deepest and most sincere apologies for my words and actions. In a recent video, I used a racial term that is offensive to so many, especially in the South Asian community. There were no excuses for what I said, and I recognize I've caused a lot of hurt and disappointment to so many people that look up to me.
There's things we've got to note on this. First of all, South Asian community. Does he really mean the South Asian community, or does he mean Pakistani people? And two, that people look up to him. So he's in a position of privilege and power. And that's the most important thing of it. But let's just go through the South Asian, because this annoys me all the time. When people come out and say that Asians are this. Asians worldwide are the Chinese. So now they're saying, oh, actually it's the South Asians, which is correct. But again, like the BAME community, you're putting everybody into the same little bracket, and they have very, very, very different ideologies, and the South Asians, half of them don't even like each other. Let's go and see. So we have got India, not so much Afghanistan. I would say it's more Central Asia, but let's put it on this one: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So here we can see multiple different people. So out of them, who would be offended by a fake countdown program by some YouTubers to use the word, not calling anyone it, just putting the words out there and saying the words packy? Who? I can only see one country that would be offended if anyone was to be offended. And that's Pakistan. The rest of them have nothing to do with it. So then apologising on behalf of the South Asian community, that's wrong. That's a lie, because you're not. You're apologising to the Pakistani community. So you should say that, KSI, if you're going to do this apology. Then, what happens?
With the intention of malice. Even those probably sat on the side, man, they probably didn't understand. They might have just been like,
you know what?
Laughed off
it was
slightly.
ignorance from what I saw. You know, that's what it was.
Did I not mention that word? But that's what it's part of learning.
Yeah. Everyone
He's
makes
here
mistakes,
to learn about what it is. He's never been in a mosque, he said. Yeah.
He's there to learn about the stuff that he said to the South Asians. Remember, the South Asians who all use mosques. No, they don't. There's different religions here. So KSI never been in a mosque, and then he said the word packing, he's forced to go into a mosque. This is the gulag. This is the Marxist agendaed people to try and make you feel different or think different. And because you're in a position of privilege and power, you can then project that onto your followers. So now your followers won't be using words that the Marxists, that they don't want you to use. The people who are re-engineering and re-educating what you believe to make you think how they believe, so then they've got ultimate control over you. This is all it is. So now we got the South Asians, which is a multiple countries. He's apologising for his language that he used, even though one of them, which is Pakistan, would be the only one legitimately might, if they were going to be any way inclined to be offended, to be offended. Then he chose to be in a mosque. This might surprise you. Here we go. The religions of South Asia. So Hinduism is 64%. So the majority of people in South Asia who would be offended if we was to believe that this was a whole continent of disgust, then surely he should be at a Hindu temple to apologise. But no, the first one that he went to was a mosque. And that only has 29%. But what about the Sikhs? What about the Buddhists? And what about the Christians? Where's their apology? Where's their going into religious houses, bowing down to a cult-like figure? It's not there. They don't have that type of indoctrination, and they don't have that type of supremacy, religious supremacy, that their religion supersedes everyone else, because that's what they're taught. That is exactly what they are taught. So now KSI has gone into a mosque to apologise to the South Asians who... See how funny this is getting. So he's doing it to the South Asians who are not predominantly Muslim. He's doing it to the South Asians who are only one country out of it would be offended or could be offended by words on a screen on a YouTube channel. This really, really is just it's just awful, to be fair. It's awful the way that KSI has bowed down to people putting pressure onto him. And especially after the liquid crack that he sells and puts his name to in Prime. No one's told him to apologise for giving the kids liquid crack. They're all smiling that he's made millions and millions. So he doesn't need to bow down to these people. He doesn't need to do anything. That makes it worse. That makes me want to know who his paymasters really are. Who are the people above him? Because someone's put pressure onto him to do this. Because as we can see, everything is wrong. But that's not it. Because we've now got a direct conflict with the Marxist agenda, with the critical race theorists, with the Maoists who are pushing these social media gulags. All of them now are forgetting the biggest thing. KSI has said he was in a position that people were to look up to him, so he has a privilege and a power. And we can't forget what the black supremacists, the critical race theorists say about racism.
imposing law, covenant, and restriction on their lives. Black people ain't had no capacity to do that. Can we be bigoted? Yes. Can we be prejudiced? Yes. Racist? No. The unintelligence of the formulation is problematic when any black person says that.
So there we go. They say that privilege plus power is racist. So the Marxists and the critical race theorists say that black people can't be racist. Sasha Johnson, the latest one to be saying these type of rubbish, that they can't be racist. Even though to me, the left would always say that I'm a racist. I'm a big fat racist. But you know what? This shows your hypocrisy, and every time you do it, I will point it out. KSI, why did you apologise? Now you've got a rod for your back that you're going to be apologising for every little thing that they don't want. Should he have apologised? Hell no. It's words on the screen. It was a game. He wasn't saying it to anyone. He wasn't saying it maliciously. In fact, he even caveated it by saying, this ain't malicious. We just need points. People need to stop being so offended over everything. But the thing is, you can be offended is the grooming of the drag queen story hour. Be offended by that. Should be offended by that, by the indoctrination of our children and the sexualization of these people that we will call groomers and pedos. And you need to be offended by the fact that there are tens of thousands of people every year coming into our country illegally. These are young men, undocumented, coming in through the channel, small boats, and nobody's doing anything apart from putting them up in hotels while our people are out on the streets. Our women and children are still in battered homes because they run away from domestic violence. This is the people who are not being afforded the privilege of having a safe place to live. Yet these people who are coming from Calais on a boat to invade the country are in hotels put up by us. Should be really offended by that. We should be offended by Labour, should be offended by Tories, should be offended by everyone pushing the vaccine, should be offended by everything really that's going on that we know is a nonsense. But people are not. But yet, words on the screen, it's easy for them to be offended.